Maybe, Chris, that's sort of a good segue into what's happening next, which is Trump won the election, markets are up, crypto is up, and it kind of feels like an exciting time to be a startup. What do we actually think is going to happen? Are the markets right? Is this going to be a good time for tech overall? Or is it sort of the political and sort of civilizational risk kind of outweighing the potential commercial benefits here?
Well, I mean, if you think of the stock market as like a weighing machine, right? It's the ultimate voting machine. The prognosticators, the capital allocators think this is going to be fantastic, right? On the day of or the week of the election, everything was up 10, 15, 20%. Things have come down a little bit with the stock market, but are bouncing again. Crypto is just up. It's like $92,000, $93,000 US right now. Bitcoin, that is. So, as you say, if you have wealth, if you have a second passport and you live in the US, if you have options, if you have some amount of access to power, for now, you're fine. Everything is fantastic. This, of course, translates to more a feeling of risk tolerance in the marketplace. IPOs and M&As can start to happen again. Valuation compression starts to ease off, which means valuations of early stage startups can be a little higher. Capital can flow more easily. Elon Musk and his Doge department are going to free up regulations, which will allow startups to be more innovative. This is fantastic news in the short term for the tech ecosystem. As you say, though, does increasing instability occur? And therefore, does it become harder to predict what will happen politically, economically, and so on? That's yet to play out, and it's hard to predict. So we'll have to see what happens over the next few years.
The underlying sentiment here is that, a democratic government and perhaps a government that is more traditional likes to put the brakes on some of the excesses of capitalism, right? They like to redistribute wealth. They have a bureaucracy. They might want to regulate things that they think do not serve the common good. They might, come down on gambling. They might come down on things that leave victims in their wake, capitalist activities, right? They care about climate change. And so they might put costs on businesses that are to do with mitigating climate change. All of this stuff goes away, right? And so businesses are free to do what they kind of want to do the most, which is pursue the profit motive. And if they are free to do that, it makes sense that they will get more profit. And that is what's driving that growth in the market. So yeah, let's sort of drill in a little bit more, Chris, into if you're running a tech startup, what does this mean for you, right? Like you're just doing your thing. Maybe you're raising a pre-seed, a seed, a series A. You're trying to find product market fit. And suddenly Donald Trump is president. What might you do differently? What might change in your expectations or your calculus as a result of this?
Yeah, well, I mean, crypto and fintech is back on the agenda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because regulatory frameworks for Bitcoin, for crypto in general, are going to get much, much clearer. At the very least, the government's going to get less litigious about enforcing the vague lack of laws that there are now. At the very best, new laws are going to be placed into the scene. They're going to create certainty and clarity for everybody. And so this is back on the table. I think everyone's going to get very excited again. The FOMO is already occurring, as we said.
I'm not sure if everyone's going to get very excited again because, I'm not. So
But why are you not excited?
crypto has had a bad couple of years, right? Absolutely. And they've had a very good time blaming regulatory uncertainty for those bad couple of years. And definitely, I would say, obviously, all the coins have shot up. I would say Bitcoin, and I've said this for a while, but I think this cements Bitcoin as a real store of value, no doubt. That digital gold idea, I think that is now there, right? Bitcoin is never going away. I'm comfortable saying that. But as for a lot of the other coins, sort of the more utility coins, I think all of the Web3, the DeFi, all of these things that, thank goodness, I haven't had to spend that much time listening to for a while. Part of their issue, I would argue the main issue, is they never proved that utility, right? And I think regulation was an easy scapegoat. So now they have a favorable regulatory environment and they better put up or shut up because they're out of excuses. there has never been a technology that has promised so much and delivered so little. And so, okay, all right, everybody, it is time to show what you're capable of. And I think, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I do think that a lot of folks are not going to be as excited to invest in all of these Web3, DeFi, DAO, whatever stuff this time around. There will be an initial bump, but unless that utility comes pretty soon this time, I think you'll find the heat goes right back out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've advised and worked with many crypto companies, and I've said to them, and I'll say to the audience here, many of them were technologies in search of a problem. Many of them had no problem or utility in mind. And we would spend most of the time going back to first principles, trying to understand, like, where is there an actual problem? Where is there an actual product solution? Where is the roadmap? Where are the iterations?
Yeah, well, I think
What
that
is
the problem is that
what's,
for most of these companies, the problem is I'm poor and I want not to be, right? And that was sort of the grift that stood in crypto. I mean, maybe that's cynical, but that is really what happened with
I
most
think
of
that is
crypto,
I think
right?
that is cynical. I think that is cynical. That many of the founders I met in crypto got very excited, participated in a lot of the excitement that was around, took a lot of money off the table through ICOs and the crypto investment community, and then are still working really hard to figure out how to deliver value for their ecosystem. And they're grinding, grinding, grinding. But many of these founders don't have any product experience. They don't have a team that understands product and have not understood how to go back to first principles and try to solve a real problem. Now, is there a problem to solve? Does the tokenomics and the token actually help? Is there a there there? That's a different story. But at least the founders have reached out to me are very well-meaning and earnest in their attempt to build a business and to justify the money they collected. I'm sure there are huge swaths of crypto people who are just like, "Thank you very much. I'm going to Florida now." But I think that there are a lot of flavors of the rainbow there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the crypto thing in general. I think the Bitcoin thing specifically, CNBC is just salivating, right? It's become the Bitcoin watch hour every hour on CNBC, and there are a lot of fund managers and capital allocators that are like, "Hell yes, let's do this." And so that's going to be very interesting. I'm probably almost a Bitcoin maximalist in the sense that I really believe in Bitcoin as the primary application for blockchain, and over the long term will be one of the primary stores of value. And so I'm not all in on on Bitcoin, but I'm a third in on Bitcoin, let's say.
Wow.
And so I'm certainly very happy about the price of Bitcoin right now.
Yep, I think that makes sense. So yes, crypto, what we're saying is Bitcoin is a part of the global financial system now. It will only continue to be so, right? And then for
Yeah.
everybody else, I'd say, yes, I imagine the funding market's going to defrost. But if you're a crypto startup and you're raising, you need to be able to say, this is how the change in regulatory regime makes things different for us. Because if you can't answer that question, I think it's still going to be quite difficult to make a commercial case here.
Yeah, that's right. And so there's definitely all of the as you say, all the product problems, all of the utility problems that crypto had don't go away. And so yeah, people will take a second look, but you've got to have a real story there.